The regular meeting of the Mishawaka Common Council for Monday, March 10th, 2025 will please come to order. Good evening. Those of you who are in attendance, we're happy to see you this evening. If you would, please take a minute and check your cell phone to make sure that you've placed it on silent and vibrate. And for those of you participating remotely, we welcome you as well. Members of the public who are participating remotely are asked to place their microphone on mute during the meeting with the exception of any public hearing. At the appropriate point in the meeting, I will invite the public to unmute their microphone for purposes of submitting such comments as they may wish to make, one person at a time. All persons wishing to make public comments will be asked to first state their name and address for the record, and after completing the comment, members of the public are once again asked to place their microphone on mute, and we thank all of you for your cooperation here this evening. With that, if you would, please join us in rising for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Hazen?
Here.
Mrs. Volker?
Here.
Mr. Carroll?
Here.
Mr. Benicki?
Here.
Mr. Emmons?
Here.
Ms. Hahn?
Here.
Mr. Mamalenti?
Here.
Mr. Violi?
Here.
Mr. Hicksonball?
Here.
All present in the council chambers.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes of our regular meeting of February 17th, 2025. Are there any additions or corrections? Then hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as received from the clerk's office. Petitions, communications, remonstrance, and memorial.
Yes, Mr. President, we have petition number 2025-01 to the honorable members of the Common Council, City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is to rezone from C1 General Commercial to R1 Single Family at 505 Carlton Street, and this is signed by Scott Bischoff. We also have petition number 2025-02 to the honorable members of the Common Council, City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is a petition to rezone from R2 to two-family residential to I1 Light Industrial, 400 block of East 10th Street, and this is signed by Derek Spear, City Planner, City of Mishawaka.
And I believe this evening, we are also fortunate enough to have a presentation from the Mayor's Youth Council. So, Mrs. Wood, Mayor's Youth Council, the floor is yours.
Thank you for having us today. I am Kate Gradeless. I'm a senior at Mishawaka High School, and I'm on in the executive committee within the council.
My name is Margaret Copens-Clark. I'm a senior at Mishawaka. I'll be using the address of City Hall, and I'm on the executive committee.
I'm Ty Caruso. I'm a senior at Marion High School, and I'm the vice president of the Youth Advisory Council, and I'm the chair of the media committee, and the address I'll be using is City Hall, Mishawaka, Indiana.
The project that we're doing this year is called Project Shoe City, and so this is a little bit about it. So the ball band plant in Mishawaka was founded in 1838, and it was originally a wool mill, and it was a major Mishawaka employer, and it was demolished in 2000. The plant was very impactful in Mishawaka because it employed 5,000 workers at its peak, which was about 15% of the Mishawaka population at the time, and was the largest employer in the region. And currently, the largest employer only employs about 3,800 people. The product that the ball band plant produced were very popular, and they were sold all around the country. And Mishawaka helped a lot in the research and development of those products. And the red ball jets that were sold by the ball band plant were sold for almost 20 years. They were very culturally significant as they were really one of the first real sneakers. And there are a lot of characteristics in those original shoes that can still be seen in modern shoes. And there's a company in Oregon that still makes red ball jets today.
In order to honor the ball band plant this year, our project is to install shoes across prospective locations across the city. There will be 8 to 10 in highly populated, well-lit locations. And there will be sponsorships of shoes by local businesses and community organizations. We are working with Patronicity through the partnership with the IHCDA in order to raise $35,000 in funds for our project, and Patronicity, if we meet that goal, will match 100% of the funds.
Okay, so we've had a lot of success with the Patronicity in the past. We've done the Mish Pocket Park, which is on the outside of that side of the building. With help from mentors, we hope to successfully complete the project Shoe City. We hope to make this project our next accomplishment through our fundraising efforts and partnership. So the shoe, this is not what this similar to what the statue will look like. So we will have on the front, it'll be a cast. Well, the whole thing will be made of cast fiberglass with a shell exterior. And then we'll have a custom shoe design, and we will work with the sponsor of that shoe to do that. And then we'll have accessibility and sensory features, so all people can access that. And then on the side, we will have the QR code integration, which will talk about the history of the shoe. Right? Yep. Perfect. Thank you for that. Any questions about it?
Thank you. Any questions for the Youth Council? Mrs. Volker.
How much does, well, great idea, first of all. I think that sounds really cute, and when you think about other cities, I think of Elkhart,
Yeah.
for one, and there are elks all over
Yeah.
Elkhart. I think that'll be just a great idea for Mishawaka. Just curious about the manufacture of the shoe and the cost to sponsor a shoe.
So on our website, which in a second, if you could grant me permission, I'll pass out these little cards that'll tell the history and the donations. But on our website, we have a list, and you can donate. You could donate $5, $10, $2,000, $5,000, and it'll give you what you get if you donate that. And what was the rest of your question? How much?
I was just curious, like if I personally wanted to sponsor a shoe, what is the sponsorship?
Oh, yeah, it's based on the donations, right?
So is it $10,000 to sponsor? If I'm going to solely sponsor a shoe, is it $10,000, $2,000?
Yeah, I can speak to that. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
So we actually have a budget committee that is currently working on that, and it's $5,000 for the cost of the shoe. But since we're working with Patronicity, the shoe itself will be $2,500 because the
Your
funds that
cost.
we get, the matching funds, then will make up the difference through Patronicity.
So, but you don't have the sponsorship levels.
No, we're
Lined
not
up
selling
yet.
shoes currently publicly right now. We're just trying to raise the funds, so we make sure we can get those funds to offer the shoes there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi. My question is, how large are these shoes going to be?
Okay, that's the one question I don't know the answer
Okay.
to. Also.
So the shoes themselves are going to be at least 5 feet tall. So if you're familiar with our bison that we have at the Patel Center, it'll be similar to that in height.
Let's try another one. Maybe I'll get the answer this time.
I do have one. So, I know I have a lot of questions.
you're
Sorry
good.
about that. So are they going to be lit, or are they going to be more like the bison? Will they be painted?
They'll be
or-
painted. They'll be
Okay.
painted. And yeah, we'll have, aren't we going to have, the youth council and people decorate them? Yeah, we'll have people that'll decorate them too.
So they'll all look different?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, great idea.
Mr. Mamalenti.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, members, for coming and presenting this evening. I know, including myself, it has a lot of special emotional feelings for this to represent and to honor Uniroyal. I know my grandfather migrated from Italy and ended up working in that factory as well, so a lot of great memories, and be able to see that displayed throughout the city. So I do have a question for you, and I think you'll know the answer to it. If I have a check right now, can I give it to you? In addition to Ms. Volker's 3 shoes that she purchased. So here's a check donation, so thank you very much for all that you guys do.
Thank you, Mr. Mamalenti. Any other questions or comments from the council? Mr. Emmons?
Yeah, this is really not for the ball band shoe, but for the park that's out there. Last year, they built the park and everything, and they're supposed to have the ivy. So is that still in progress? Is that still a possibility?
Yes, we are still in progress of getting that from the owner of the Cubs.
So we have some that is ready to plant in that?
Sorry about that. So currently, the ivy that we got from the South Bend Cubs, well, I should say Chicago Cubs of Wrigley Field. So currently, we're growing that in our greenhouse, and we were lucky enough to get a couple of starts, and we have such a wonderful gardener, Jake Crawford, as you all know, and we have, I wouldn't say an enormous amount, but we have definitely a good amount of starts that we're going to put there probably this spring/summer.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to deviate from what you did. 'cause
Oh, no, that's
Very
okay.
excellent presentation in that, and I want to
Thank you.
compliment the 3 students for their participation in that. And I hope and I know the project will be a success, like all of them have been ever since the youth council started in that. And I appreciate all the work that you put into it, all 3 of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? And again, Mr. Emmons did a nice job of summing up. Thank you for the presentation and for the work that you're doing on this. Mrs. Wood, thank you for being here as well. And we look forward to seeing your project come to fruition as you move forward.
Perfect. Do you mind if I go up and pass these?
Absolutely. Please.
People? Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. That's okay. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all once again.
Thank you.
With that, this evening, we have no report of any special committee, so we'll move into ordinances on first reading.
Proposed ordinance number 2024-35, and ordinance amending Chapter 137 of the Municipal Code of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana, is from time to time amended, commonly known as the zoning ordinance of the City of Mishawaka, Indiana. This is the wellhead protection land use restriction. Petitioner request amendment.
Thank you. Based upon the request of the administration, at this time, the chair would entertain a motion to delete the proposed ordinance in its entirety and substitute in the revised language that was distributed to the council by the clerk's office.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. A motion has been made and seconded to delete the original text of the wellhead protection ordinance and substitute in an amended version of the ordinance that has been presented to us by the administration. Any additional questions or comments from the council? And hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it, so the ordinance will be amended based on the information we have received, and the proposed ordinance as amended will be assigned to our Land Use Planning Committee. This evening, we have no resolutions, nor any ordinances on second reading, so at this time, we'll move into privilege of the floor. And this is an opportunity for members of the public to come to the podium and speak with respect to non-agenda items only under privilege of the floor.
Good afternoon, Council, Mayor. Representing Waste Management here today, just to provide you guys with some updates. If you guys had any questions for me, I could hopefully answer them for you.
Thank you. Any questions? Mr. Mamalenti.
I'll start off. Thank you for coming this evening, and thank you for being willing to continue this dialogue and see how this relationship grows. As I'd mentioned before, I know, and we all expect some growing pains, which I think was pretty minimal from the grand scheme of things. I think I just encountered the last couple weeks an incident, and I just think that there's some miscommunication from the residents and your folks and your team. Thankfully, Mr. Lunch had taken care of it shortly thereafter, so thank you very much. This incident was pertaining to a couch that was set out by the curb. Set it out, normal trash day, didn't get picked up. Same thing, next week, put it out, didn't get picked up. And after a call to Mr. Lynch, it was picked up probably within an hour afterwards.
Yeah.
And my suggestion was to call, book on the online application on the phone, or even call and book online. And I think there's some miscommunication with your team or some folks in customer service.
Yes.
Just some verbiage, simple verbiage. It states nothing over 50 pounds. One representative had mentioned that there was not an additional truck. So I just feel, this was a big move for the city. And I think the council did an outstanding job working with the administration, and the administration did a wonderful job getting all the answers answered for us, or questions answered for us. Then we relay that to the residents, and I feel that there's some disconnect or some unfulfilled promises. So, and I empathize, I understand it's a growing process, but I think if we can eliminate some of these miscommunications, that would be outstanding, so.
Most definitely. There's a lot of, unfortunately, it's on our end. It's from our dispatch team with the miscommunication. They didn't understand the time buckets, things like that. And it seemed like if it wasn't getting to myself or Matt, that it wasn't getting addressed in a proper time, the amount, the time that we agreed to.
Okay.
And we are dialing in more and more on that every single day with that communication piece. Trying to get more direct contacts versus getting somebody somewhere that's not familiar with, the town, the contract, and all of that. Someone from Texas, per se.
Sure. Is it possible to have the information on the app and on the online version?
Most definitely, we should be able to. Yeah,
Okay.
I will have to work with our tech team and our customer service team
Because it is a
to get
bit
that added in there.
confusing for
Yes.
large items. You'll
Yes.
pick up, but they not to exceed 50 pounds. I
It's
think-
not the problem that it exceeds 50 pounds. It's we try to get a second body out to it to help, to minimize the possibilities of injuries or anything like that.
Sure. That I get.
yeah.
But I take that as the additional bag that we were allotted.
Yes.
Not for the large items.
Correct.
Because every large item, a couch, refrigerator, appliance, obviously weighs more than 50 pounds. So I
Yes.
think that's where the confusion comes in when they're trying to schedule it. And we were told that they didn't even have to schedule it.
Yes.
But on a good note, two of my neighbors, I walked out this morning, oddly, two neighbors had very large couches, and they were both of them were picked up
Perfect.
on the
Hopefully
trash
you guys
day.
are
So I did
all-
want to at least
Yeah.
provide that
Yeah.
positive information,
I think
but
we are on
I
a.
just think if we can clean some things up and some communication,
Most
it would
definitely.
make things a lot easier.
Yes.
But I appreciate.
And we are doing a lot of things to strive toward that too, to the residents, to get them proper information as to, why they were missed, things like that, the technology on the trucks catching up, getting notes to the residents on the containers, if they can move it here, anything like that, anything simple. Let's say if it's somebody that's got an alleyway and it's not a contracted or safe alleyway to go into, we have a note for those to tag to, please put on curbside. I've seen a huge downtick in the missed pickups.
Sure.
Otherwise, yeah, we will continue to work on that communication piece.
And when a resident calls your location or your customer service, where is that being answered? Is it here in town?
Not all, no, no. Yeah, that's not being sent, unless it comes directly to me somehow.
Okay.
I don't know. It goes to, it could be Detroit, it could be remote, someone working
So I
from home.
understand, at that point, with that information, I do understand the miscommunication where each municipality may have different rules, such as Mishawaka, we have a different contract as others do. So how do we ensure that when the residents call, they're given the correct information pertaining to the city in which they live?
So every town contract, even a open market customer, has a scope of service, an SOS, and that is, everything should be there directly for that customer service rep to read, to say if that customer service rep actually did the research and is actually at the computer digging through and finding it, rather than just speaking it out, and that could be a part of the issue.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you for coming this evening.
No, thank you. Hopefully you guys are 11 for 11 now, going into our 12th week here soon, so.
I can follow up on Mr. Mamoletti's question before I turn things over to Mr. Violi. I want to go back to the discussion about our residents calling in. And just to underscore and clarify, my reading of the contract is that with regard to those bulk items that are being collected, that it is not incumbent upon the resident to make a call to set that up, that that's built in as an automatic feature of the contract that we entered into with WM, correct?
Correct. They should not have to call in unless it's going to be over 2 items. That's the only time they should call in.
Okay. A lot of that's for my
Yeah.
wife's purposes. She still wants to argue with me about it, that she has to call in.
No,
But-
yeah, it's-
So thank you for helping me or hurting me when I get home tonight.
She's right. Just
Mr. Violi?
Thank you, Mr. President. Speaking of apps, we live in a world of apps, and I've been trying to get an app, and Matt's aware of it, and I've spoken, I think, to you. I've done everything. I've I've gone through the chat, I've tried reloading the app. I can't get the app. I mean, the people that are handling the logistics of picking up the trash are not the same people that are setting up the app. Can we have a timeline? When is that going to go live? Because I really
cannot-
would like to have that. I have the app
Yeah.
on my phone, but it doesn't work.
I can't provide you a timeline for that. Again, I remember when we were here last time, he mentioned that he would get with you. Can't get with every single customer.
I
but
understand.
Yeah, something should be relayed. Hopefully next time I can have a solid answer for you guys. I know it is in the works and continuing to be worked on. Maybe for this specific situation, I do get with you and help you out on
Well,
yours.
it's
to
not
see.
just me. I mean,
Yes.
I'd be glad to have it, but I think there's a lot of people that are counting on it because like
Yes.
Mr. Hicksonball said, there are a lot of things that were said that we're going to have. And when are we
Yeah.
going to get to this? There's a point where
Yes.
let's get moving.
I completely agree. I can't answer that technical question because I'm not in the background on that part, but hopefully next time when I come to you guys, I do have an answer for that.
Well, hopefully next time you come, we can have that already set up.
Perfect, yes. Let's
Okay.
set that expectation.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Carroll?
Thank you, Mr. President. Kind of piggybacking onto that, it seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you have to have a customer ID number. That's
Yes,
the
that's what I
issue.
that's what I'm told, yes.
So I'm not so sure it's a technical issue so much as it is nobody's been given their customer ID number. So it seems like a mailing where we can all say, hey, here's your ID. If you want to set up your thing, go from here. I don't think we have to get with an IT company and deal with
No,
that.
no.
So just to pass it on.
I'll have to do some further digging. Again, not my field, but I'll do some further digging, see what I can come up with.
I think,
Mr. Emmons?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm concerned about, we have a number of residents in my district that are seniors, and the large containers that have been distributed prior is not convenient for a lot of seniors. And I know we can call in, when I say we, the constituents can call in and ask for a smaller bin, 64 gallon instead of the 92 a gallon. How long does that take, or how long from when they call in that they can get their smaller containers?
It should be within 2 weeks.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
It should be completed within 2 weeks,
Okay.
that swap.
Okay. And
yeah.
would that be done on the day that the trash is picked up?
Yes, it will more than likely be set up for the day that the trash is, that way that container can be emptied, the other guy can come by, swap the containers,
Okay.
and call it a day.
Okay. I mean, I'm just speaking for my area. I can't say for all of the city, but I know in my district, we have a lot of elderly people, and those big containers are just too hard to handle, especially when the weather is not conducive.
Yeah.
Now, today, maybe, but, when it's raining or snowing,
Yes.
ice and that, they just can't handle it.
Yeah, and we have that supply there. We're actually ahead of schedule on getting those out. So as long as they call in and they continue that process, we have, I'd say we delivered already over 200-300 of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're just continuing on. I mean, every day he's got about, I'd say, 30 to 40 deliveries. Maybe about half of those are the swaps from the bigger to the smaller.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I appreciate that, because like I say, the constituents, the elderly, they're concerned about that, and I can tell them
Oh,
in at our monthly meeting that this is the process.
Yeah,
So I
I-
appreciate that. Thank you for
Thank
your-
you. Yeah, I completely understand their
Yeah,
concern
thank
with
you.
that.
Another follow-up, and I appreciate that you're not the head of the IT department for WM, and that being said, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I find it puzzling that now, during a second council meeting, we're having to ask about this app. That was a commitment that WM made to us as part of the contract. They didn't say it's going to be end of first quarter, end of second quarter, end of the year. And I think Mr. Carroll hit the nail on the head. I can use the app because I purchased an extra container, and the paper invoice had my customer ID number on it. Otherwise, I'd have no idea what it is. And I strongly suspect that that's the issue for the vast majority of our residents who are trying to use this app.
Yeah.
So rather than have to have you come to a meeting again, although we might invite you again as we're working through the transition issues, my ask would be of whomever it is who does handle IT-related issues for WM, that between now and 2 weeks from now, when we meet again, somebody provide us with some concrete estimate when that app, that again, WM committed to as part of its presentation, as part of its contract, when is that going to be up and running? I think that's a reasonable request on the
Yeah.
part of our residents.
No.
And I know that you're the messenger, so it's not directed to you, but if you could communicate that back to whomever is the appropriate person, I'd appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys having me. I mean, I'm working on my public speaking, so hopefully that's getting better every time I'm here. But no, definitely I will communicate it. We have our meetings every Friday, every other Friday, and I will continue to work with the IT team to make sure they're on top of it and don't let it slide by. And we got to make it a priority. Like you said, we're a quarter in, and it's still not here, really. So.
And again, I'm going to ask you to be the messenger on this one as well, and I appreciate your patience with me. I can't quantify this since I'm not the recipient of the phone calls, but my strong sense of it is that another commitment that WM made, which was to provide us better customer service and provide our residents with better customer service so that our administrative personnel were not having to field so many phone calls. They're happy to help, but they have a lot of things beyond trash and recycling that they need to help our residents with as well. And my sense of it is that there still is too much that's being funneled toward our staff that, in my mind, matches up with the commitment that WM made to us in their presentation and in the contract with regard to handling their own customer service issues. So, again, it's a work in progress, and I agree with Mr. Mamaleni. We knew all along that there were going to be transition issues. I guess from my standpoint, I'm a little bit disappointed that we're not further along with regard to some of these transition issues, and I suspect you and others at WM are as well. But if you could provide us with some guidance as to when the app's going to work,
Yeah.
and when the people fielding the phone calls are going to be up and running so that it's not as labor-intensive on our staff, I'd appreciate that as well.
Yeah, I mean, alone, those apps working will solve
Could be one and the
half
same.
of the calls, yes. Yeah, again, that will be a customer service tech team I got to continue to work with, stay on top of them, and make sure it gets completed.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Ms. Hahn?
Just one comment, a positive one, that I have seen on more than one occasion, in more than one neighborhood, your drivers actually get out of the truck, pick up a piece of trash that either just was there or came out of a bin, so I have seen some really good things happening.
Thank you. That's great to hear, especially after the win
Yeah,
a week
yeah.
ago. That was a rough one, so,
So I have seen that.
yeah.
And again, to follow up on that, I'm not hearing, huge complaints from my friends and neighbors. So there's a lot that's going well. It's just those few areas where if we can work together to try to address that, it'd be much appreciated. But
Most definitely.
again, we appreciate you being here and the work that both of you are doing on a daily basis to make this work along with everybody else at WM. So if you can communicate back between now and our next council meeting in 2 weeks where we're at on certain issues, I think that'd be well received by us.
Yeah, most definitely. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys' time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, council.
Is there anyone else wishing to speak under privilege of the floor? Seeing no one. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not no one, Mr. Lunch. I just jumped out ahead of you, but go ahead.
No
sir.
worries. Matt Lynch, City of Mishawaka, 100 Lincoln West. I just wanted to say that every week every other week now, we meet with the account executive, the route manager, as well as a customer service person for the whole United States. So we are covering a lot of these things. We have worked Tim Ryan and his folks from Central Services out of a job related to trash. A lot of it is, it is getting way better than it was. There are still some issues, and we bring them up as we see them. We had some conversations last week as it relates to the contract and missed pickups and within the next business day. So things are being addressed, and they promised me that the information related to the account numbers is going to go out, and they're just finalizing it. But we're holding them accountable. But the route managers and the people on the ground locally, as you mentioned, Mr. Mammaletti, that within an hour after you called me, we had that taken care of. And I can say that people on the ground, as well as further bringing the customer service team up to speed, we're demanding that. And it's way better than it was, and I feel like we're making great progress. But I'm grateful for my friends from WM being here tonight to answer the questions. But I just wanted to relate to you that we are making progress, not as much at times that I would like, but I've seen a significant increase in their response time and their ability to work with us to make sure that they're following through on what they promised.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Lunch? Matt, thank you for the work that you're doing on this. I know that not only are you responding to concerns from the council, but from our residents as well. So it's through your hard work that, in conjunction with some good people at WM, that we're as far along in the process as we are.
Yeah,
So
and
thank
we're
you for
committed
that.
to, no matter who calls, we take care of it right away. Thank
Much
you.
appreciated. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to speak under privilege of the floor? Then is there anyone participating remotely who wishes to speak under privilege of the floor? Thank you. This evening, we have no unfinished business, so new business. Is there any new business to come before the council? Ms. Hahn.
Next Thursday, March 20th, I have the honor of hosting the First District monthly meeting on Woody's behalf while he's gone. So after years of attendance, I actually am hosting. That's at 7 o'clock at St. Babos with Director of Code Ken Rokowski to speak. All are welcome. Donuts will be there from West End. I'll pick them up, get them there. They're free.
Any other, Mr. Carroll?
Thank you, Mr. President. The second district meeting will be this Thursday, March 13th, 7 p.m. at Blair Hills Common Room in the pool complex. There will be no donuts, but there might be cold beverages, sir.
Thank you. Other new business, Mr. Mammaletti.
Well, since everyone else is doing it, I'll do a brief reminder. Our neighborhood watch meeting will be on the 19th, Wednesday. It'll be at Fire Station number 4. We're still confirming our speaker, but at 7 o'clock, Fire Station number 4, March 19th, 7 o'clock. All are welcome.
Thank
And
you.
we'll have Woody's leftover West End.
Thank you. Any other new business? Then it is my pleasure to announce that this year's State of the City Address by Mayor Wood has been scheduled in conjunction with a council meeting for Monday, April 14th. Our council meeting will begin at 6 o'clock here in our council chambers at City Hall, and it will be immediately followed by the Mayor's State of the City Address, and all are welcome to attend that as well. And if there is no other new business to come before the council, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
So moved.
So moved.
We're adjourned. Thank you.